Every can of ant spray you have ever purchased was designed to fail. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is the business model printed on the back of the can. The active ingredient in every aerosol ant killer on the market is a contact pesticide. Pyrethroids, permethrins, bifenthrin. These chemicals kill the ant they touch. The ant dies on your countertop. You feel a brief surge of satisfaction. And then tomorrow morning, 50 more ants are walking the exact same trail across your kitchen because you did not kill the colony. You killed a scout, one single expendable worker from a colony of 100,000 to 500,000 individuals, a colony that replaces lost scouts faster than you can empty a spray can. The queen never knew it happened. She is 3 feet underground in a chamber the size of a fist, surrounded by thousands of nurse ants tending millions of eggs, and she will keep laying 800 new ants every single day until the day she dies of old age, which for most species is 15 to 30 years from now. Your $8 can of raid did not inconvenience her. It did not slow her down. It eliminated roughly 0.001% of her workforce, and it made you feel like you did something. Meanwhile, there is a white powder that has been sitting in the laundry aisle of your grocery store for over a century. It costs $1 for enough to kill a colony. Not the ants you see, the entire colony. The queen, the larvae, the nurse ants, the soldiers, every individual connected to the nest, dead, all of them, in 1 to 2 weeks. The powder is borax, sodium tetraborate, a naturally occurring mineral mined from dry lake beds in the California desert since 1881. And the pest control industry, which generates over $26 billion annually in the United States alone, has spent decades making absolutely sure you never connect this laundry powder to the word insecticide. Welcome to Camping Secrets. If these stories matter to you, the subscribe button and the bell are the best way to make sure this knowledge survives. This is where we dig up what the industry buried. Now, let me take you back to Death Valley, 1881, because the origin story of this powder reads like a Western. And the mineral at the center of it has been under your kitchen sink the entire time. In the scorching flats near Furnace Creek, a broke prospector named Aaron Winters and his wife Rosie were living in a dirt floor hovel carved into the side of a desert hill. A passing traveler told them about a mineral called borax being found in dry lake beds across Nevada and described a simple test. If you heat the mineral in a flame and it burns bright green, you have borax. That night, Winters scraped white crystals from the salt flats, held them over a fire, and watched the flame turn vivid green. He had been standing on a fortune. He sold his claim to a San Francisco businessman named William T. Coleman for $20,000. Coleman built the Harmony Borax Works, the first commercial borax refinery in Death Valley, and devised the most iconic transportation system in American frontier history to move the ore 165 miles across the desert to the nearest railroad. 20 mules and 2 horses pulling 36 tons of borax through 130-degree heat for 10 days straight. The 20-mule team became one of the most recognized brand images in American history. The trademark was registered in 1894. The same logo is still printed on the box of borax sitting in the laundry aisle of your grocery store today. 131 years later, borax was originally used in ceramics, gold refining, and as a laundry booster. Ancient traders transported it along the Silk Road from dried lake beds in Tibet. It was touted in the 1800s as a remedy for everything from dandruff to epilepsy. But somewhere in the early 20th century, someone noticed that ants that walked through borax powder died within days. Not instantly, slowly, and the workers that had contact with the dying ants also died, and the larvae they fed also died. And eventually the queen died too. Nobody in the pest control industry wanted to talk about that. Here is the chemistry that makes borax the most effective ant killer ever documented, and the chemistry the $26 billion pest industry has every financial incentive to make sure you never learn. When an ant ingests borax, its digestive system converts sodium tetraborate into boric acid. Boric acid is a potent metabolic poison for insects. It disrupts cellular respiration, the fundamental process by which every cell in the ant's body produces energy. Specifically, borate ions interfere with the production of adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is the molecule that powers every biological function in every living cell. Without ATP, cells cannot operate. Muscles stop contracting. Nerve signals stop firing. The digestive tract stops processing food. The ant starves to death at the cellular level, even if its stomach is full. But here is the detail that transforms borax from a simple poison into a colony-killing weapon. Borax is a slow-acting toxin. It takes 24 to 48 hours to kill an individual ant after ingestion. And that delay is not a weakness. It is the entire strategy. Ants do not eat independently. They are social insects with a communal feeding system called trophallaxis, which is a mouth-to-mouth transfer of liquid food between individuals. A forager ant finds food, ingests it, returns to the nest, and regurgitates the liquid directly into the mouths of nurse ants, larvae, soldiers, and the queen herself. One forager can feed dozens of nestmates in a single return trip. If the forager dies before it reaches the nest, the poison dies with it. That is what happens with contact sprays. The forager never makes it home. The colony never receives the toxin. The queen never stops laying eggs. Borax works because it does not kill the forager before she returns. The ant finds the borax bait, eats it, walks back to the nest feeling perfectly fine, and begins distributing the poisoned food through trophallaxis to every member of the colony she contacts. Those ants then distribute it further. Within 48 to 72 hours, the borax has reached every caste in the nest, including the queen's chamber. The queen ingests the contaminated food. Her metabolism begins to fail. Her egg production slows, then stops, then she dies. Without a queen, the colony cannot produce new workers. The existing workers continue to die from the boraxid circulating through the population. Within 1 to 2 weeks, the colony collapses completely. Not the trail, not the scouts, the colony. Research from the University of California confirmed that a borax concentration between 0.5 and 1% in a sugar bait solution is the optimal lethal dose for colony elimination. Lower concentrations get diluted through trophallaxis below the lethal threshold. Higher concentrations kill the foragers too quickly, before they can return to the nest. The sweet spot, the concentration that maximizes colony penetration and delayed lethality, is roughly 1 part borax to 3 parts sugar dissolved in warm water. That is the formula. 1 part borax, 3 parts sugar, warm water. If you have made it this far, you already know more about ant colony biology and extermination chemistry than 99% of homeowners, and a surprising number of the pest control technicians they pay $400 to visit their house 4 times a year. Subscribe and share this with someone who has a kitchen ant problem and a shelf full of empty spray cans that never solved it. Now stay with me, because the economics of the pest control industry are where this story turns from frustrating to infuriating. The United States pest control services industry generated $12.65 billion in service revenue in 2024, a 7.9% increase over the previous year. Over 13.25 million residential customers currently pay for professional pest control services. And here is the number that should make your jaw tighten. Recurring revenue accounts for 85.2% of residential pest control service income. 85%. That means the overwhelming majority of revenue in the residential pest control industry comes not from one-time treatments, but from ongoing service contracts where a technician visits your home quarterly or monthly, sprays a contact pesticide around the perimeter, and bills you $100 to $150 per visit for the privilege of not solving the problem permanently. A standard residential ant control contract costs between $300 and $600 per year. Some companies charge $40 to $70 per monthly visit. Over a 10-year period in a home with recurring ant issues, a homeowner can easily spend $3,000 to $6,000 on professional pest control for a problem that a $5 box of borax and a bag of sugar could have eliminated permanently in 2 weeks. The commercial product that most closely replicates the borax bait you can make at home is Taro Liquid Ant Bait. Pull up the safety data sheet. The active ingredient is borax, listed at 5.4%. Taro charges $7 to $12 for a package of 6 small bait stations, each containing roughly 1 tablespoon of liquid. You are buying borax and sugar in a plastic shell at a markup of approximately 4,000% over the raw materials. A 4-pound box of 20 Mule Team borax costs $5 at any grocery store. A 5-pound bag of sugar costs $4. Together, these 2 ingredients produce enough ant bait to treat every ant colony on your property for years. The total material cost per colony treatment is under $1. You cannot patent borax. It has been a commercially available mineral since 1881. You cannot patent sugar. You cannot patent the act of mixing them in warm water. There is no proprietary chemistry. There is no exclusive formulation. There is no trade secret. And there is no way to build a $26 billion service industry around a powder that every homeowner already has in the laundry room, and a bag of sugar that every kitchen already contains. So the industry built the complexity barrier. They invented quarterly service contracts. They trained technicians to spray contact pesticides that kill the visible ants and guarantee the problem returns within 30 to 60 days. They marketed the fear of ants as a persistent, recurring, professional-grade problem that requires specialized equipment and licensed chemicals. And they made absolutely sure that when you search online for how to get rid of ants permanently, the first page of results is dominated by pest control companies selling $400 annual contracts and sponsored articles recommending branded bait stations at $12 a pack. The $1 borax and sugar recipe is on page 4. If it appears at all, now here is exactly how to make and deploy the bait. And the method is what entomologists have documented in peer-reviewed research as the most effective approach for colony elimination. Step 1. Identify whether your ants prefer sugar or protein. Most common household species, including Argentine ants, odorous house ants, and pavement ants, are sugar feeders. If you are unsure, place a small dab of honey and a small dab of peanut butter near the ant trail and see which one they swarm first. This tells you which bait base to use. Step 2. For sugar-feeding ants, which is the vast majority of kitchen invasions, dissolve 1 tablespoon of borax and 3 tablespoons of sugar in 1 cup of warm water. Stir until fully dissolved. This produces an approximately 1% borax concentration, which research confirms is the optimal range for colony penetration without premature forager death. Step 3. For protein-feeding ants, mix 1 tablespoon of borax into 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Work it together until the borax is evenly distributed throughout the peanut butter. Roll into small pea-sized balls. Step 4. Place bait stations along active ant trails. Use shallow containers, bottle caps, jar lids, or small pieces of cardboard. You want the ants to find the bait easily and access it without obstruction. Place stations every 3 to 5 feet along the trail and near any visible entry points, cracks in the foundation, gaps under doors, and around window frames. Step 5. Do not kill the ants you see around the bait. This is the most counterintuitive step and the one that most people get wrong. When you see dozens of ants swarming the bait station, that is not a failure. That is the mechanism working. Those ants are filling their stomachs with poison and are about to walk it directly into the queen's mouth. Spraying them or disturbing them at this point destroys the delivery system. Step 6. Replace the bait every 2 to 3 days to keep it fresh. Liquid sugar bait dries out and loses attractiveness. Fresh bait keeps the foragers coming back and ensures a continuous supply of borax reaches the colony. Step 7. Wait. Within 3 to 5 days, you should see a noticeable decrease in ant trail activity. Within 7 to 14 days, the colony collapses. You will know it is working because the ants that were swarming the bait station simply stop appearing. Not because you killed them at the station. Because the nest has been poisoned from the inside and there are no more foragers left to send. For large or multi-queen colonies, which are common with Argentine ants and Pharaoh ants, the process may take 3 to 4 weeks. These species maintain multiple reproductive queens, meaning the bait must reach and kill every queen before the colony fully collapses. Patience is the only additional requirement. The chemistry does not change, the timeline simply extends. I need to be completely honest with you about limitations. Borax bait is highly effective against the most common household ant species. It is less effective against carpenter ants, which are wood nesting and have different feeding behaviors that reduce bait uptake. Fire ants have aggressive soil nesting habits that make bait penetration more difficult. For these species, professional treatment with targeted non-borax compounds like fipronil or hydromethylnon may be necessary. Borax is toxic if ingested by children or pets. It is classified as low toxicity for adults, meaning accidental skin contact or small exposures are not dangerous, but ingestion of significant quantities can cause nausea, vomiting, and digestive irritation. Always place bait stations in locations inaccessible to children and animals, behind appliances, inside cabinets, under furniture, or inside enclosed bait containers with small entry holes that ants can access but children and pets cannot. Borax is phytotoxic at high concentrations. Do not dump large amounts near garden plants, as it can damage or kill vegetation. For outdoor use, place bait stations on hard surfaces or in enclosed containers rather than directly on soil near plants you want to keep. And one detail that will prevent your ant problem from ever returning after you eliminate the colony: find and seal the entry points. Ants leave a pheromone trail that guides other colonies to the same entry paths. Even after you kill the current colony, a neighboring colony can follow the residual pheromone trail right back into your kitchen. After the borax has done its work, scrub the former ant trails with soapy water or a vinegar solution to destroy the pheromone markers. Then seal cracks and gaps around windows, doors, and the foundation with caulk. The borax killed the colony. The seal prevents the next one from finding the same door. This knowledge was never lost. Borax has been commercially available since Aaron Winters scraped crystals from a Death Valley salt flat in 1881. The 20 Mule Team brand has been on American store shelves since 1894. The insecticidal properties of borax compounds have been documented in entomological literature for over 100 years. Taro, the most popular commercial ant bait in America, openly lists borax as its active ingredient. The chemistry is public. The formula is on the safety data sheet. The ratio is in the research papers. The only thing missing from the public conversation is the sentence that connects all of it together. You can make this at home for $1 and it works better than a $400 annual service contract. A $26 billion pest control industry depends on you, never saying that sentence out loud. An 85% recurring revenue model depends on you believing that ants are a permanent subscription problem that only a licensed technician with a truck and a uniform can manage. And every can of $8 contact spray on the store shelf depends on you never learning the difference between killing a scout and killing a queen. But now you know the difference. And the formula is too simple, too old, and too well documented to be hidden again. That ant trail across your kitchen counter could be the last one you ever see. That colony under your front porch could be dead within 2 weeks. That $400 annual pest contract could be canceled by the end of the month, replaced by a $5 box of laundry powder and a bag of sugar that does the one thing the entire industry is designed to never do: kill the queen. If this vault changed how you see the ants in your house, subscribe and share this video right now. Every share puts this knowledge in front of someone the pest control industry was counting on visiting 4 times a year for the rest of their homeownership. Every subscription keeps this channel digging deeper into the vaults they thought were sealed forever.